Henshin Inspection presents Writer Tears. This is MJ. I will be discussing the bad, the good, and the intriguing of Kamen Geats, Episode 8, and Is It Selfish to Ask for Help? You can find all my work at mjmunoz.com. Jumping right into it with the credits, Kamen Geats Episode 8, Encounter 7, Ninja the Ace, originally aired October 23rd, 2022. The writer is Yuya Takahashi. The director is Kazuya Kamihoriuchi. Kamihoriuchi. There we go. Kazuya Kamihoriuchi, my buddy, you know? Anyway, moving on, I'm going to start with the bad. Keiwa is gone! I went back and it looks like Michinaga lied about kicking the can. His grudge is fine, but lying and being petty about it is weak. It feels like the rules are actively shifting with beating this boss, and I want to know why, and how is that fair, and it doesn't make sense to me. It's getting a little frustrating, because I'm anticipating that after the next episode, it'll look like they beat him, but then they'll discover, oh no, there's something else you gotta do. What a disaster for you. And the last bad thing I wanted to talk about from this is that the Jyamato abducting Sara doesn't really make sense. I don't know that they've ever abducted anybody before, and I don't understand the utility of them abducting her here. I understand that she is abducted and turned into people power for the big guy, but I was under the impression that he just directly absorbed people, and I was really surprised to see that apparently, you know, he has lackeys or minions going off and abducting people and carrying them over to him to, give him more power. So that was odd. That was definitely weird, and I don't understand where that was coming from. But maybe they established that in last week's episode. I don't know. But I'll tell you what, in the beginning of this episode, they established that he can just shoot somebody and they get turned into a power source for him. So, or it, probably, probably a woman, right? Guys, come on. Yeah, women. No, that's not true. Women are wonderful. Well, good women, wonderful women are wonderful, and terrible women are terrible. Just as it's true for men too. Anyway, moving on to the good. Sorry. I'm not big enough to get in trouble for things like that, but we'll see. Maybe one day this will come back to bite me, but that's okay. Moving on to the good. The direction of that scene where Keiwa and Sara's parents were being murdered by the Jyamato, and that civilian guy pulled her away, and her bracelet broke. It was gorgeous. It was beautiful. Like, it was honestly I was a little surprised by how rough the scene looked of them actually being beaten to death by these Jyamato. Like, I mean, the Jyamato didn't have swords or anything, and they didn't snap their necks or something. But it looked like they were just gonna punch them to death, and I don't know. I think that's worse in a lot of ways. The pain and suffering that must be endured to get pummeled until you die must be pretty tremendous and pretty horrible to watch. Anyway, so not super groovy, wonderful, fun feelings from that. But anyway, the rest of the scene where the bracelet breaks and the beads fall, and you get that low shot, or that shot of everything low and kind of blurry, very cool. It feels like you're Sara, and you want to see what's happening because you care. There's that connection that was made, especially her mom and dad. They had very small parts, but I was kind of not moved necessarily, but I thought they did a good job of getting everything they could have out of them for just that moment or two where they're crying out in pain and saying Sara, run, and you have to live. And it got me. That was pretty good. And then just the way it was framed, it was artful. It was artful. So I really appreciated that. Ninja Tycoon looks great, and Ninja's decoy and minor teleportation abilities are so cool. I really love the visuals behind that piece of wood popping out, and that dunk, bamboo striking bamboo from the water thing sound effect that they have, or whatever that sound is, that ninja sound, dunk. I really like that, and it all worked together really well, and sold the effect and sold the powers to me, and I just thought it was cool. And then one more real good thing. I dig. Oh, hold on. Sorry about that. I dig Ace's conviction, even if it is a trick of some sort. I want to believe in him, and of course, I'm talking about at the end of the episode. He clutches his Caesar coin, and I don't know if he just balls his fist or if he sticks the coin in his pocket and then he, says that he's going to destroy this world with his own hands. And, is the world of Jyamato? Is it, the world of the DGP? I don't know, but he says he's going to do something. And according to the previews for next episode, someone is going to win this round. And I think that my hope and my wish to see multiple rounds of the DGP put through this series might be coming true. Maybe it'll only be 2, we'll see, but it definitely sounds like there's going to be a winner next week, and then that'll, something will change, so that'll be interesting to see what happens. Okay, so moving on to the intrigues, these interesting things I wanted to bring up from the show. How did the Tycoon ID core work for Sara? I get that she and her brother are siblings, so maybe somehow the ID core is tuned to the DNA of the person, in which case they share genetics, so at least there's some overlap. The way that all works out, I'm not going to get into and be science nerd or whatever, but you definitely share traits. Like, my kids' faces are similar to each other, and even though they're dissimilar, but there's similarities. There's similarities, so I get it. Maybe that's why. That's the only real thing I can think of. They don't really talk about the technicalities, which that's following the Toshiki Inoue rule of be vague and it'll all work out in the end. You'll see. So anyway, I guess that's okay. It's kind of weird, and I want to know what happened and why. I don't think she was a Tycoon writer in the past, and I was on Twitter the last couple days, and I saw somebody posted something where it looked like she was going to be transforming, but I don't think that's true. Maybe that's just a wish that people have, like maybe she was a Tycoon in a past life, although I think she would have known that by now. I don't know. Strange, isn't it? So next intriguing thing is, I forgot to ask this last time, but if all the writers were killed in a previous game against this final boss, why did the DGP not end? What happened to the world? Why didn't the world end? I don't understand. And what do the Jyamato even want? Are they just generic game villains? There's a whole thing here. Anyway, next is can Sara swap in for Keiwa as Tycoon? That unfinished rule at the end is making me wonder, because it said if a player is too sick or injured to continue the game, they will be, and then it stops. And I thought it was my subs, because the person I've been getting subs from, they hadn't done episode 8 yet, so I got them from somebody else, and then I watched it, and I was making these notes, and I thought, well, let me try something else. So I jumped over to someone else's subs, and they actually had a similar thing happen. And even with the typesetting, I couldn't tell, because I'm using my phone, but I got the SD MP4, so the typeset, or the ASS, sorry. If you don't know, the subtitle file is called a .ass, which I don't know what that means, but it's funny that, your subs are ASS files. I don't know why. I mean, I know why it's funny, because I get to say ass, and it's a real, serious thing. But, yeah, it's just like, well, let's go to the damn gift shop. What are you talking about? Well, we're at the Hoover Dam, Dad. Come on. Anyway, dad jokes and kid jokes. You get it from both ends with me. Sorry. Anyway, yeah, so, like, when you have MP4, you can't adjust that ass file. So, and it's burned in, I believe. I don't think they have removable. Maybe they do. But anyway, regardless, I'm not going to go into that. But I thought maybe there was something wrong with the file on the MKV I had, so instead I got an MP4 from somebody else, and the same thing happened. So it looks like it's legitimately something that the show is holding back from us in order to keep the intrigue and the mystery up and have a big surprise thing happen where, she swaps in the next episode, like everyone's going to lose, and all of a sudden, Tycoon 2, Sara, she comes in, she transforms, she kicks the can or kills the boss or whatever, and then woo, she wins, and that'll be weird, because that'll be like a super hard and fast change to the status quo of the show, which would be wild to see. That's like Dawn Brothers level, or like Inoue levels of like changing things up and being wild and unexpected, which I would actually appreciate. And I do think this show has been fairly unique and pulling some things out of strange places, so that's good. I do like that, so kudos to them. Excuse me, sir, I was moving over anyway. You did not have to be so rude. All right, so last thing is Oh yeah, I wanted to ask this question based on, what was being said to Keiwa about him being selfish, about asking the others to basically give up on their chance for their dream and or to achieve their goal by winning. And it's funny, the subs I watched yesterday, they said they basically said it's time to duel. And I guess that's what they're playing the match or the game, which was odd to me. And I didn't check the alternate subs that I got as well. Well, not alternate subs. It wasn't from alternate. It was from somebody else. But I didn't check the other subs that I got to see if they use duel or if they use some other stuff. I like the flair of this other subgroup. I don't remember the name off the top of my head, but I do like the flair that they use. But if you watch those ones, you'd know which ones I'm talking about. I think where it says duel, and I think it means I think they're saying let's play the game or whatever that is in Japanese, and just I guess different people are translating that with different flavors. So anyway, I don't know why I got off on that tangent talking about that, but oh yeah, while they were talking about the other characters were challenging, because it reminded me of Yu-Gi-Oh! That's why. One of the things I love about Yu-Gi-Oh! Is especially in woo sorry scary. Anyway, I feel like Scary Jerry was in here with me. Anyway, everything's okay. Baruch Hashem. But anyway, what I was going to say is that one of the things I like so much about Yu-Gi-Oh! Is that in the duelist tournaments, especially the first one, and I don't know, yeah, especially the first one, you have characters who you like and who you've gotten to see fight these battles, and they're friends, but they're all fighting for, they're all fighting over one prize, and only one person can earn the prize, and they all have very powerful reasons to win, and to want to win, and to fight as hard as they're fighting. And while they're rooting each other on, it's easy to see them rooting each other on and cheer for them each going into the conflict as they're starting it, because the field is so wide. But as it narrows and narrows and you get down into those last few brackets, it comes to the point where these friends who don't dislike each other, who love each other and care for each other, and who want to see each other succeed, none of them, one of them has to lose. Only one can win, so the others by default have to lose. And that's what you have with the DGP. You have this, I can't think of the proper name to call that system, but you have that system and that setup. So, Keiwa saying, hey, everybody else, help me, let's work as a team so I can save my sister and save the world. Him suggesting that and them bucking and pushing back is reasonable. And I don't think it's necessarily true what Ace said, that Keiwa is really being the most selfish person of them all, because if the world is destroyed, or all these people are, killed, because even the black and white girl, binary, or I don't know what to call her, Stark, she was saying, the navigator lady. Anyway, she was saying that there's a ton of casualties this time out, and that's not a good thing. And it seems like she's genuinely concerned about that, and she wants to stop the casualties. But again, I don't know why the DGP exists and why they're it's locked into the system with the Jyamato. But whatever, I'm sure we'll find that out later in the show. We better. If we don't, I'll be really disappointed. But anyway, if they don't save the world, then Keiwa's sister will die, but then so will they. So is it really selfish? I don't know if he's actually the most selfish person, but yeah, it's not reasonable, or it isn't noble and selfless to ask other people to harm themselves in order to help you. It is, on the other hand, noble and heroic to harm yourself to help others. So I really like that tension, and the fact that Keiwa just decided to make himself the decoy, since nobody else would. He said, fine, I'll do it myself, and he created the opening and the opportunity for everybody else by going ham on that final boss. So I really, really liked that. I love the setup and the tension, and it all felt so natural and good, and proper and appropriate the way they did everything. And it also just made him look even more heroic. And I honestly don't think it made the other characters look bad, that they wanted to hold on and to fight for, not their rights, but for, what they're fighting for. And I love that point that Ace very sharply tells him, hey, if you want something, you have to fight for it. You can't just rely on others to get it for you. And I thought that was beautiful. I thought it was beautiful, and it tested him, and it made him prove himself to be a real hero and to have that real Kamen Rider spirit. So that was pretty dope. I am going to go ahead and score this episode. I'm going to give it a 9 out of 10. Yes, a 9 out of 10. It was fantastic. Well, and I'll tell you why specifically in just a moment. So, here we go. Keiwa was so cool, the ninja buckle came to aid him in his mighty feat of heroism, which, I've been talking up for a little while now. Taking down part of the final boss to divert its attention so one of the others could save his sister and the world was a brilliant move. I was shocked that he got eliminated from the game due to his injuries. Ninja Tycoon was a joy to watch, and I was impressed with how effectively Keiwa used the ninja buckle. The extra levels of motivation to meet this final boss has me excited to see how hard the remaining riders will go to defeat the Jyamato and this game. Keiwa showed himself to be made of truly heroic metal. You might even say it's high quality. That's a Yuya Takahashi joke. It's a reference to another one of his shows. If you don't get that, that's okay. I am thrilled to see how this game plays out, and I have a feeling we are in for a big surprise. So, for my story over everything segment that I'm going to paste into that other show, which airs at the end of the week after I've done my reviews and analysis of whatever media I've enjoyed throughout the week, or, haven't enjoyed maybe, I'm going to go ahead and do that right now. So listen up. These are my lessons learned this is for my lessons learned segment pertaining to Kamen Rider Geats Episode 8. Push your characters out of their comfort zones to get the most out of them. This all-out hero act fighting to take what he wants isn't Keiwa. He wants to get a buy-in from others and would have just let things happen before. Before this, he would have just let things happen, and however they happen, and he would have accepted it. But this time, he took control and did what he had to do. That was exciting to watch as an audience member, and I enjoy how his fellow writers reacted to this change as well. If I had to put a fine point on this lesson learned, which I will do now, it would be this. Use a character's traits and interactions as a reference point to show their growth as you push them out of their comfort zone as far as you can. So, that is going to be it for now. I am all done with this analysis. You can go ahead and get out of here. I'm just going to suggest to you that you check out Story Over Everything, that you check out the Dawn Brothers 34 analysis that is up as well at this time. Look out for Kamen Rider Black Sun coming soon. I will be discussing that. According to Ega Devil, I just found that out this morning before I started recording, that apparently, at least in Japan, they're releasing the whole thing, and Shirakawa, the producer from Toei, says that the runtime is a little bit under 7.5 hours. So I think Friday starts at midnight Thursday in Japan. So if you wanted to, you could stay up. I think it's Thursday in Japan right now. No, it's Thursday here too in America. Anyway, whatever. You could stay up all night and watch the whole thing before the sun rises. I think is the joke he was making. But if it's true that they're doing that globally, I don't think I have the stamina or my family has the patience for me to watch the whole thing. But I will be talking about Kamen Rider Black Sun as much as I can. I'm going to cover the whole show if I deem it, something I want to keep watching, which I think I will. And I'm sure I'll have interesting things to say about it. So if you want to hear that, check that out. Come back. It'll be on the Writer Tiers feed. Of course, everything's always at mgmonios.com. You can find it all there. And I am going to be doing work today and tomorrow on thumbnails, finally, for my that's something too, but it's coming later, for my tokusatsu / Godzilla inspired children's picture book. And that's part of the process I need to do in order to get this book published, in order to get it perhaps crowdfunded by people who like the stuff I do and like tokusatsu and Godzilla and some of the things I like. So anyway, look forward to that, and I will have more information about that for you in Story Over Everything episode 5, which will be coming out not too far after This Kamen Rider Geats episode 8 analysis goes up. So yeah, look forward to that. With that, I'm MJ. I leave you with peace and blessings. I hope you enjoyed that. If you did, you can find more at mjmunoz.com, as well as my entire library of analysis, art, and fiction.